Okay, before I take you through the resume, let me give you some information about what is a DevOps engineer. Okay. Hey guys, today we are going to understand what is DevOps engineer and how you read the resume. And I hope you have not missed the previous video of understanding a QA resume. All right. So let's go and understand DevOps engineer. All right. So now, what is a DevOps engineer? So that thing you need to have a clarity before you go read a resume and you go and screen a candidate, because without understanding what is something, how you are going to know that is something is right or wrong, right? So here, okay, before I take you through the resume, let me give you some information about what is a DevOps engineer. Okay, DevOps is a consists of development and operations. Clear? And now, what is development? Development is writing code. What is operations? Anything apart from development, that is, because once someone works on a software, it is just not about writing codes, but you need to manage the hardware, right? Manage the hardware, the monitoring, then deployment, the server side, the operating system, so many things we need to take care of, the administrative part, and that is called operations. So here, if a person who knows the structure about coding, the business things, and who understands the testing and the operation, that person can be that person called a DevOps engineer. Clear so far? I'll show you more on how exactly you can understand. Okay, I'll give you more clarity in a moment. And if you think DevOps is something like Java, .NET, Informatica, that someone goes to the training center or go to online and they learn it and they become a DevOps engineer, no, it won't happen like that. This is all about a mindset of understanding how different levels in a software development environment works and involving more into that. Let's say a developer doesn't know how the infrastructure, how the hardware side works, and this person shows interest in on the operation side. At the same time, if an operation guy, let's say a web server administrator, let's say a system admin, let's say a tester, okay, who has an interest to learn scripting, coding, and at the same time who can be involved in the operation side, who understands how exactly it works in the deployment environment when a project goes into deployment, and once they have the understanding, they can call themselves a DevOps engineer. If someone just comes from nowhere and says I'm DevOps engineer, then you have to think that, okay, what makes you a DevOps engineer? Why do you call yourself a DevOps engineer? Okay, what makes you think that you are a DevOps engineer? How someone becomes, then it is easy for you to identify. All right. So to give you more information on this, stay tuned here. I have just made a image of it so that you can understand easily. So this is what the environment, right? There is let's say it's a software environment. Here is developers, testers, and administrators who takes care of the systems, servers, databases, network, and everything. Okay. Let's say we need a RAM this big of what hardware we require, and we need a backup, we need monitoring. These guys take care. Correct? Now, what DevOps does is it's a collaborative effort. Okay, for that, developers, testers, and administrators, everyone knows everyone's mind, how things work. They understand. Before, what happens earlier, if developers code something and sends it for a testing team, and testing team will be waiting or working on something else, or they might be waiting for a particular time so that let's say monthly twice they wanted to test, or then after it will go to deployment. So what happens is they have to wait till the time comes in, and these guys will be thinking that, hey, we have already sent the code and it is not been tested. And once this is tested and sent to these guys, and they might be running with something else, and this used to delay whole process. Now if there is a small release has to come, small what we can say like upgrade version has to come, with these kiosks, okay, I have done, you're waiting, you have done, I'm waiting kind of play, the project deadline has to delay, and it used to go into a lot of chaos and kind of confusion. Now to avoid that, they wanted to have a mindset This is the DevOps mindset. The developers do the coding and everything. They do the unit testing, and again, if everything goes good and testers does that, and again it goes in a cycle, and these guys understand that, hey, this came here and this person is testing and now it is good. Now we have to ready with the deployment, and once it is passed, it is going to deploy it. How beautiful it is. So for that, they need to have some technologies, and they need to understand that, okay, how we have to automate things. Few things needs to be automated. Okay, for that, in DevOps, you will come across some tools. Okay, so these are the tools. What are the tools? Git or GitHub, or they may call JIT, some guys. This is source code management. Okay, this is a version control, meaning a developer writes a code in JIT, and let's say this guy has to mess up with some code. He needs to do some kind of things on the with the old code. He wants to add something or remove something from the old code to see, okay, how I can write it in differently. So they can keep it in the source code in a main place, and a virtual part of the code will be used by this person to play with it. Okay, now then they have to work with Jenkins. Automation servers with plugins built for developing CI/CD. It's continuous integration, continuous deployment. Integration is once this person develops something, does some unit testing, and this gets integrated, and it does that because they manually, earlier they set the parameters that, okay, for this code this kind of testing needs to happen, and with that testing it just automates it and it just passes it. If the testing fails, it goes back to the developer, so that time will not be wasted, that till this guy codes so many things and it goes here, and this guy found so many bugs are there, again it will go back. Okay, so the small things, once someone small units, if a developer develops, and it's with Jenkins, it compiles and it sends for testing, and it goes for the integration side and the tester and the deployment. That is how it works, Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins, you might be heard of Bamboo as well. Okay, that is one of the automation server. Now Selenium, you are aware, that's automation testing. QTP, automation testing, the way Selenium. Now Docker is a software containerization tool. So let's say if developer is developing something on their system, and they have to have that particular thing has to be deployed or installed, or needs to be played in other system. So what they do is they'll create the environment and keep it as a container. Okay, then they'll just ship the container. For example, if you have to ship let's say there are sellers, right? Someone sells glass items, someone sells furniture, someone sells what, balloons, big balloons. Okay, so these three sellers have to ship those items to somewhere. So how exactly they think, oh, if it is raining, how it is going to work, and if it has to go to a different country, how will go. So the simple thing is, whoever does that, they say put everything in a container and we'll handle that. Whether we're going to take that with a tow truck or with an aeroplane or on a train or a truck or on a ship, it's our headache. So what these guys do, they'll put all the information in a container, and the container will be shipped as is. So the same way, this Docker, it works on a containerization. Okay, there is so big thing it is. It is better for us to understand as a recruiter that much. Meaning the codes, the environment will be kept on a place as is, the way it's like it mimics the developer's environment. Okay, now we go to Kubernetes. What is that? Kubernetes is container orchestration, meaning it helps creating multiple containers and multiple platforms. Meaning, let's say it's one container has been broken, like let's say it's gone. What is that going to happen to the person user who will be sitting and looking for some data? All this container has broken, right? So that's the reason this containerization, the orchestration, what this Kubernetes does is it creates multiple containers. If there are a lot of traffic comes in, if there is no traffic, it minimizes it. Okay, so that is how Kubernetes works. Now Puppet, Chef, Ansible, or you can see a Terraform. Okay, these are configuration and management deployment. This configuration management is the hardware configuration. All right, okay, what is the RAM, what is the server, where is the CPU size required, I mean the processor, these things, the server side, these things, these particular technologies are used for content, the manage things in such a way that it will help the application deployed automatically. Okay, because with the Jenkins it already been used, these all, everything will work hands on hands. Okay, this is not a different entity, they'll work hand on hand. All right, in Dockers and Kubernetes, if Dockers creates containers, on the top of it Kubernetes sits, so that it needs to be orchestration. Clear? Now Nagios, if everything is going good, let's say the development is going good and deployment is going good, someone needs to monitor, right? What is that happening? The system side, and okay, what is the pressure it's coming in from the user point of view, and if anything is crashing or everything is good. So Nagios, or the people may call Nagi OS, they use that for monitoring. Clear? So these are the tools that you will be seeing on a DevOps person's resumes. Now you need to understand that, okay, someone needs to be a DevOps person. What they need, they must understand AWS, Azure, or Google. This is what their cloud platform. Okay, Google Cloud Platform, Azure, and AWS Web Services. So one of these knowledge they required, and hands-on experience with configuration and deployment tool. That is Puppet, Ansible, Chef, and Terraform, right? Then proficient in scripting, okay, working in Git or Git workflow. So they need to understand that. And experience in CI/CD pipeline, how exactly the flow works, they need to understand that. Clear so far? I know I'm a bit fast, but here my main motto was to help you understand how to read the resume. But I thought, okay, without telling that, it won't make any sense for those people, at least who are new to the industry or who wanted to learn more about it. All right. So let's understand here. I'm not telling you how to identify a fake resume. I'm just telling you how exactly a DevOps resume is there, and to understand, okay, the responsibilities. Okay. And let's see what is that beautiful resume is for us. So let's read now. Around 5 years of extensive work experience as AWS DevOps engineer. So there is nothing called AWS DevOps engineer, but it looks like this person has worked on AWS platform. Clear? Process including skilled agile programming methodologies. Okay, you know, right? Agile, Scrum, these are the methodologies we use. So now implemented build tools and Ant to automate. Okay, this is what the Ant, Maven, if you heard of, that is used to build the project. Okay, they'll know, okay, which things are going on, where exactly it is. All right, the operational part of things. Okay, so all right, let's don't waste much time here. I'm just reading it out. The way I understand, I'm just explaining it. Okay, just try to catch it up. Monitor, manage ESXi servers, virtual machines. Okay, looks like this person managed some servers, virtual machines. Thorough knowledge in CI tools like Ansible. Okay, infrastructure configuration management, Ansible, Chef, Puppet. We looked at right here. Ansible, Chef, Puppet. That's what he was talking about. And what else? All right, where is this, man? Okay, experience with CI CD methodologies using Ansible, AWS, Jenkins. Okay, so there is nothing methodologies. Okay, okay, so he used these methodologies to work on this. So Ansible, AWS, and on this is a platform, and this is the automation thing. Okay, this is for configuration thing. Clear? Now excellent QA, smoke testing. Okay, smoke testing skills, initial testing, what they do. In discovering edge. Okay, I'm not reading this. Experience in administering production, development, test environment, carrying Windows. Okay, multiple operating systems he has mentioned. Then experience with version control tool, Subversion or JIT. Okay, why this person using two? Okay, this is summary. Okay, might be used multiple projects. All right. AWS cloud platform, this person worked. Now EC2, okay, this is ECC that is called. So EC2, they create an instance of what are the things will be there in cloud. The VPC, okay, this is also from AWS. This is virtual a private connection. So how to connect virtually, this EBS. Okay, this is like uh, this is into the AWS, this elastic what is that, this is for creating blocks. Okay, so let's say EBS is something, you go to AWS server, it's a big server, and you need to have a small piece of place that is virtual storage that is required for you to deploy a small application. So you take this part, EBS will help you to design your virtual environment. Okay, this is like imaging thing. SNS is like a services. This is looks like a messaging services for AWS, and I don't know why this person is using. Okay, RDS, this is a database, the relational database services. What is that? AWS provides. So it has a free version of open source AWS provides, and paid as well, like Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, and you might have heard of Aurora. So this is what we have AWS RDS. Okay, and all right, so EBS. Oh, see, this person has mentioned EBS twice, so you know how much genuine or how the resume has been written. All right, CloudWatch, CloudTrail, Cloud Information, AWS configuration, auto calling. So it looks like it has some AWS components or services that this person has done. Chef, why in AWS this person has mentioned Chef, where already this looks like he has somewhere mentioned. Okay, Chef is a configuration tool, and I don't know why he has mentioned here, and Microsoft Azure. It looks like he has worked on another platform as well, Azure platform. All right, let it be. Let's see. Integrated host map, build infrastructure, monitored Amazon Web Services using Datadog. Okay, this is like tells you what exactly is going on uh, with your application, and auto scaling, ELB health check. Okay, this is a part of this. All right, implemented configured Apache. Okay, MySQL server using Python. All right, so this is a application server database. So he coded something on here. All right, so well versed with MVC frameworks. Then he worked on Informatica as well. Wow. And worked on experience writing codes in Python and basic with Ruby. So I'm still confused what this person exactly done, from where this person started his life. Okay, either some person has to be coder or maybe administrator, then they'll grow up to this, because this is a mindset. Let's see where it is going. Now worked on multiple AWS instances, and what is the security group? He looks like he has prepared some instances on AWS. All right, then configuration NIS, DNS, DHCP. This is for server side. You see, send mail, FTP, remote access, storage administration. Okay, 3 years of experience, infrastructure implementation, solution offering for cloud, professional services. Okay. All right, deployed and configuration Atlassian Jira. Jira is what? Jira is like our bug tracking tool. And what else? Okay, Aurora database. Okay, we see that in RDS, right? AWS RDS, they provide Aurora as well. So this is what it is he was talking about. Then configuration server using Puppet. Okay, he worked on Puppet as well. Interesting. He worked on Puppet, he worked on Chef, Puppet. What else he worked? Interesting. Migrated the cloud-based AWS to Puppet configuration management tool. All right. Then Groovy unit scripting. This is what all operating systems. Extensive work on Hudson Jenkins. Okay, what is Hudson Jenkins? So Jenkins was a part of Hudson actually. Okay, earlier they both were same. The container integration thing, CI thing. Docker, team build, Jenkins CI pipelines, Linux, Windows, experience in administration of this is like a system admin. Then Aurora database migration, cloud using MySQL. Okay. All right. So this is what experience in SCM, software configuration management, in Agile, Scrum, clear case. What is this? Clear case. Stars migration, waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodologies? Whoa, I'm surprised to see who on earth now, which company is using waterfall methodologies. Now people are going on agile scrum, and this guy seems to work in a company which is using waterfall. Interesting. So this is all again hardware side, HTTP, DHCP, all right, LDAP. This is more of networking side. This is again agile methodology, scrum methodology he mentioned. All right, so now let's go. These are all technologies that person has mentioned here, and let's understand resume. It looks like this person worked from December 16 to till, okay, so here he mentioned it is around 5 years, so meaning I have downloaded the resume that might be from 2017. Okay, so that's the reason he might be saying 5 years till now, because I was going down and I saw it is 2012 and this is 16. All right. AWS plus DevOps. Let's see. Install, configure, administer Tomcat application server. Looks like this is a middleware server admin. This is a application server administrator. Okay, so before you understand, you need to understand the application server and difference between web server and application server. All right. So the web application that I was talking about is